listening to I Am Refocused Radio with your host, Shamaya Reed. This show is designed to inspire you to live your purpose and regain your focus. And now, here's your host, Shamaya Reed.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is I Am Refocused Radio, and here once again on the 12th floor, 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Man, we got two guests today. So we're going to do some Facebook video and YouTube video for y'all. But right now, I have Michele, Coach B, and I have John Stevens. I want to welcome them both to the show.
How y'all doing today? Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. We're doing good.
So y'all safe and healthy, man?
Corona-free.
Corona-free.
You know, in all seriousness, you know, we want to tell everybody out there in the public to make sure you practice being safe and clean. Yes. And, man, the whole distance thing, hey, take it serious and don't play games with that. And I'm telling you, if you bump into me, it might be some trouble. But no, on a serious note, I want to start with John Stevens real quick. Tell people who you are and what you're doing with the music game. And then from there, we're going to have Michele jump in.
All right. Well, for those that don't know me, my name is John Philip Stevens. My stage name, artist name, John Philip. I'm a singer, songwriter, producer, arranger, engineer. I kind of do a lot, man. It's just, when I start naming all I do,
you're that true independent artist.
Yeah, man. Grew up in Northeast Ohio, Akron, Cleveland area, so I'm a Midwest boy at heart. Been singing in church since I was 5 years old. Began with instruments when I was 18, started writing and producing around the same time, and I'm here in San Antonio. I have my own band, Top Shelf. I'm sure some of y'all have heard of us around the city.
Yes.
And I do a lot of other things. I do a lot of studio work, background vocals. I have my own project, Second Wind. I've been featured on a lot of other projects across the nation, smooth jazz, as an instrumentalist and as a vocalist too. So I do a little bit of everything.
Man, and once again, you listen to 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Your host, Shamaya Reed, talking to John Stevens and Michele, Coach B. And Michele, I'm going to have you jump right into it. Tell people about yourself.
Well, he and I have a lot in common.
Yes.
We're definitely Midwest. He repping my city.
Right.
Ohio. Hey, I went to Toledo.
I got Chicago.
He got Chicago on the day.
I went to Toledo, Ohio, so go Rockets.
Yeah.
So we met, repping that Midwest and the South. You know, it's a different little happenings up there.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's a little different from Texas.
Yeah, a little different. But no, actually, so I am families from Chicago area. So been in Texas for a little while. Since 98 and off and on, but I've been back since like 2013. So just helping people brand their business, like just good business,
especially during these times.
Yes,
these times you gotta be creative now. You know,
and because we do so much, it's like honestly, I'm kind of like John at the same time. It's like because we do event planning, just the printing, the design, and the coaching and consulting, and then I feel like I told you on one of our other sessions, I feel like I'm like the Black Yellow Pages, if that makes sense, because people hit me up for so much stuff I don't even do.
Yeah,
but they know because I network a lot and I know people that I got a number for you. The plug need a plug sometimes, which hence my shirt. So with the brand plug today. So people, I will say I definitely enjoy having that network, and John is, definitely in that network. We work together. I've seen clients. He's done stuff for my clients. Yeah. So, it's just good to just be amongst good people.
Right.
And I think sometimes we forget that there really are still good people out there. Not everybody is shady.
Oh yeah.
Not everybody raggedy. There are people out there that's really out here trying to make their dreams come true and really build a good, solid business. Yeah. And we just like to help in that. Help you really get your foundation together and really understand what brand development is, because a lot of people don't think about me until after the fact. So it's like they jump out there, they get the logos, they get the websites, and, they start then they figure out when they come hit that little plateau or it's not working, they wonder why. Well, you probably didn't really assess who you really for. Yeah. Even like John produces a particular type of music. That's for a particular genre on both sides, the gospel side and the secular side. So he has a target audience that he has to produce for. And so everything that he does has to be in line with what his audience wants, but it's very important for him to know that.
Yep.
And so this is one of the things that we really focus on in helping people understand who you're for, because you're not for everybody. And that's the one thing that makes my ears just when you ask somebody who's their who's your target audience, and they say everybody. No, you are not Google. You are not Walmart, where you got $1 billion of money to Amazon, where you can market to everybody. until you get there, you still, and even in the end, like a lot of major companies, they still have a target audience. Yeah. Nike is for a specific group of people.
Yep.
Yeah.
Apple is for a specific group of people. Mm-hmm. Like even those companies, you know, Fortune 500 still understand the importance of knowing your audience.
Yep.
And who you're really for. So you produce for those people.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the things I think is important that sometimes we don't really understand on that beginning. We kind of get it in the middle and the end. Mm-hmm. You know, because let's just be honest, a lot of times when you start in a business, I don't know, John, if you felt this way when you kind of got started in the music industry, especially coming, you know, been singing since you was 5, but like, did you really have those talks about how to develop your career on a business part? Did you? Well, that's good.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to assume that you didn't, but I know sometimes as artists or as comedian or music, you get thrusted in.
Right. And that's the thing. And and I didn't mean to cut you off, but that's so true. That's something that is missing in a lot of the entertainment industry. I think a lot of people focus on the talent and they're like, oh, you good. Right. You got something. Let's put you here. Let's put you here.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But in all honesty, especially nowadays, social media, everybody is visible.
Yeah.
So there could be another Kevin Hart right here in San Antonio.
Right.
And we might not know about it. And they could, let's say, be better or have more of an appealing sense of comedy or whatever. Mm-hmm. But if they don't have that conversation with somebody that says, hey, you know, we can market you this way, but let's identify your strength as an artist, as a comedian. Yeah. Let's identify your weakness and let's get a team around you to help support you and push you into this next level of what you really want to do.
And I think that's really important, honestly, no matter what industry you're in, especially as a new entrepreneur. And I'm saying new from that startup to even 5-year mark, because it's make it or break it after 5 years. So and if you last past 5, you probably got a good shot of sustaining yourself. But that whole team concept, and that's why I tell people, like, I come from a family of entrepreneurs, and I know that's not everybody's story. Some people are the first. And I'm the first in a lot of areas, but coming from a family of entrepreneurs, I got to kind of see things. Now, it wasn't always roses and peachy king and all that good stuff in the beginning, but I got to be immersed in that as a kid. Although I didn't become an entrepreneur until later on, because I spent my life in education, my early part of my career teaching. But now that I'm in this space, I can reflect back on all the stuff that my mom then was doing, my uncles, my grandfather used to, and this is how you know, like, yo, people are so real with it. So my grandfather, and it didn't, as a kid, it never really, I'm like, okay, cool. He used to turn those barrels, like the oil barrels, he would clean them out and turn them into barbecue grills and sell them. And so as a kid seeing that, it didn't resonate entrepreneurship until later on, till I knew the word for it. But knowing, like, that's the whole take something out of nothing situation. And I think this is where we are right now with good old COVID-19.
Yeah.
You got to figure it out, and you got to figure out to take something out of nothing and make it work, especially as a business owner. We were just talking before we went on, like, how to really be creative and keep our business going through this thing, because with people not being able to come out in droves, especially for you more so than myself, like, you got to really be creative with how you get your music out there and how you perform, and, you know, still bring in revenue and not necessarily being able to perform directly in front of people.
And once again, you're listening to 930 AM The Answer. Your host, Shemai Reed, I am Refocused Radio, talking to John Stevens and Miss B, Michele, Coach B. And what you just said right there is so true right now. As an entrepreneur, even working, if you're still able to work your day job, you're in the position you have to make these decisions of what you need to cut off and what you need to invest in. And a lot of investments right now is managing your time. Your time is crucial right now because in the climate of what's going on with events around the world, you have to be very smart with your time.
Yes.
And for you both, I'm starting with John Stevens. How do you find yourself shifting things and prioritizing what you got to do day to day?
Well, for me, amidst this panic and this pandemic that's been going on, I've made slight adjustments. And what I mean by that is I didn't wait for COVID-19 to happen for me to say, hey, I got to get up, you know, really start my time management, saying, hey, I'm going to dedicate an hour to this, 30 minutes to this, 2 hours to digital networking, reaching out to different artists, seeing what's going on, seeing how we can collaborate, whether it's music or networking, resources, whatever. Since this has happened, I mean, I've elevated that to the next level because, again, we don't have too much time. I mean, every day something is being shut down. They're limiting us on what we can do, how long we can be in these types of settings. And one thing we were talking about before we went on air, the digital market has not stopped.
Right.
Although we can't get together in person, you know, we can't meet up at Breathe or all these other little spots and do gigs. We can still network via Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, SoundCloud, like those types of things. And this is the prime time for us as creatives, especially in the music industry, to start networking. We were talking about online concerts, you know, living room sessions, if you would, like things like that to help keep our presence online, keep that money coming in, and keep us in the forefront.
And you're helping people, but you're helping people get through these times too.
Most definitely.
Because as an artist, you kind of help people forget all the craziness that's going on.
And to me, that's the DNA behind what we do. Every song has a story. I don't care what song it is, what genre it is. Every song has a story. And if we can just take a walk, you know, down memory lane, a lot of the greatest songs of our time were birthed in times like these.
Yep.
The Ray Charles, all his hits were birthed in times like the segregation. I can go back as far as like World War II, the blues era, like all that stuff. Great songs were birthed in depressing, hard, difficult times like these. So again, to a word to all my creatives, if you got a song, if you got a story, now is the perfect time. Now's the perfect time for us to hear your story.
Yeah, I definitely will agree with that because it's so funny. I think that for me, like typically when I get up in the morning, I will go look at social media from a standpoint and see like just kind of what happened while I was asleep. And because especially in this space. And then, but one thing that I do get caught up in, sometimes I watch videos too much, but I watch a lot of videos and I read a lot of articles. So sometimes I'll try to read a couple videos or watch a couple articles. And today, a video that I watched was about, there's like a little town in Mobile, Alabama, where one of the last slave ships had kind of docked at. And so they're talking about that. So I shared it on my page because I know there's a lot of parents at home that's going through with this homeschooling thing. And so I shared the video, then hoping that they can use this as one of their lessons at home. And that's the thing about now, it's really about being creative. As a former educator, I was just thinking today, like, okay, let me maybe see what type of resources I can pull together to do some classes online. Because let's just be honest, as a parent, not every parent may be equipped to really teach their child on a like educational ABC 1, 2, 3 level. You're definitely equipped to teach them respect, social skills. For sure. Because that's really where it starts. And it does start. So let me backtrack. Even as a parent, education definitely starts at home. But when you get into a lot of the mechanics of teaching math, science, and all of that, you may not really, may not really be equipped for that. So this is a time for like all the retired teachers, all the former teachers, like John said, they're creating situations where we just go digitally now.
Use that social media. And that's a perfect way, because imagine we have all these retired teachers just being on Facebook or Instagram and just making short videos. Right. Today's lesson, blah, 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 blah.
Pretty much.
That's that whole community. And I feel like what's happening with all the things happening in the world is almost giving us a teaching moment to reflect.
I agree.
Almost sometimes when things like this happen, you just got to slow down and say, okay, where am I at in my life? Because you almost have to say, okay, what is important right now? What am I lacking? Where do I need to grow in this time?
Yeah, this is a great time to hit the reset button. I kind of talked about this in another video. I said, I don't know if y'all grew up on Nintendo. Where you had to blow in the cart. But on the Nintendo, which I still have one, there's a reset button on that bad boy. And every time you play Mario, you mess up on a level, you hit that reset button because you want to start over.
Trying to look over your shoulder.
Or you accidentally bump into it. Oh, we got to start over now. But I think of this as like, you playing the game on Nintendo, you hit the reset button. Unfortunately, COVID-19 gave us a reset button. So here's the thing. This is not the time for you to sleep on it. Do not trick off this time. Like, real talk. This is your reset button. So whatever was happening in your life on a personal or business level, and especially on a business level, this is your time while you're in quarantine to get your life and get your business life. Come up either with new stuff, figure out how all the stuff that you didn't have time to do. And this, like, I have to really look at myself too. Like, okay, I'm always running because, client stuff and I'm doing stuff and I done skipped over stuff that I probably should have done, especially with this book. Now I got plenty of time to finish this last chapter. I've been trying to finish this last chapter of my book for 5 months. So now, fortunately, now I got time to finish this last chapter. So really take a look at your life and your business and figure out what you can do in this reset period.
Most definitely.
Why you kind of have to be still. I don't know all the Bible scriptures front to back, but I know there's a scripture there that talk about be still.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And wait.
Yep.
And all that good stuff. So whatever scripture. Okay, thank you. So look, now whatever scripture that is, come on with it, John. But I think it's definitely applied like right now.
Yeah.
Be still, but while you're being still, I think it's also about using the time wisely.
Yeah.
And taking this time to really assess where you are as a person, where you are in your business, and how to still keep your brand and your business going through this time as well. So just don't, if you don't take anything from this, honestly, just don't trick off this time.
And don't give up. Too.
Honestly,
right,
yes.
Because I know there's been some people that I know that have been, laid off, and these are question mark times. You don't know what's going to happen. And the best thing you can do is try to keep a clear mind on just get up every day.
Yeah.
Don't just sit there and feel like your life is completely over, because times like this is a great test. But at the same time, if you go at it in the right mindset, you're going to get through it, man.
Yeah.
That is true. That is totally true. So I just think that we have to definitely, this is a community effort right now. If there ever was a time that you really check on your people,
right now is a good
do
time.
wellness checks, and really, really do it from a sincere place, this is that time that you really take time to hit people up and be like, you good.
Yep. And I mean, it's the perfect time to do that. And again, I'm using this time, and you kind of touched on it, to really hit the reset button. And because we're not doing any gigs, we're not meeting up. I have time personally to look at myself and say, hey, as an artist, as all the things that I do, how can I level up?
Yep.
And one thing that I'm really big on, and I preach this to everybody else, and I'm really looking at myself saying, hey, I got to practice what I preach, is diversify. A lot of musicians, singers, we can get up and do all this stuff and, in front of 50, 100 people, 2,000 people on a weekly basis. But who are we outside of that? How can we take this time and identify, hey, these are my strengths, these are my weaknesses. How can I invest into the next generation? Lessons, mentorship, those types of things. This is the time to really, really, really level up. And to touch on what you said earlier about the scripture about being still, the Bible says, be still and know that I am God. And how I personalize that. And that's why I got excited when you said that. Be still, to me, it means be settled.
Yeah.
Be settled and know that God is who he says he is.
Right.
So if you need provision, be settled and know that I'm the God that'll provide for you. Be settled and know that I'm the God that will still cover you and keep you in all of this, chaos. Be settled and know that I've given you something that will prosper you in times like these.
Right.
And I think as creatives, entrepreneurs, and what we're doing around this table, I think it's imperative that we keep that mindset. Regardless of what's going on in the world, we really have special gifts. Everybody doesn't have the gifts that we have. So we really have an impact, and I believe we have a platform and an opportunity to really impact the world on a greater level. We can go out and enjoy music, or, we can, link up with somebody like a Michele and say, hey, I'm doing this because things are really happening for me. Things are popping. But in times like these, it really takes the strongest of the strong to get people and say, hey, we're not going to let this keep us down. Let's get your website together. Let's get your branding together. And when times do come back on, you'll be ahead of the game. Yeah, you're ready. You're ahead of the game.
I mean, real talk. So here's the thing. And that's what I'm saying. You can't sleep on this moment because when this is over, understand that it's about to be crazy.
It's gonna be popping,
and you're gonna have to really be ready for this influx when it comes. And that's why it's I'm been working with my web developer on getting some stuff and starting a new project as well. So it's this is a time to really get ready and put yourself in position to win. And I think for 2020, and you mentioned you kind of talked about it too, collaborations.
Yeah.
for me, 2020 was a collaborating year. So I've even reached out to people outside of San Antonio. So I've been connecting with people in Shreveport, in New Orleans, in the Carolinas about definitely coming together and doing workshops and seminars and bringing them here and me going there and really helping strengthen and let everybody work in their gift. And I like that you brought that up, because I will say, like, this has really been something I've been thinking about for a long time. And so I was getting ready to go to an event. And so, which you think about the Rick Warren's book, The Purpose Driven Life.
Yeah.
And so something just hit me just about work. And I was like, you know what? I think I need to create something. Was thinking about the Purpose Driven brand. So I came up with that. And
that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Don't be taking my stuff, people, either. No. But I know I didn't put it out there, so it's cool though. But I said it to say, because here's the thing, to your point, the gift is that we all have a gift, and it's very important that this is the time that reset button. Here's the time right now for you to figure out what your gift is. Yeah. Your gift should totally be tied to your purpose, which is then tied to your passion. So it's a domino effect. So it's like GPP. So your gift, purpose, passion. Yeah. So I've recognized that my gift is that I am good at building relationships, and I'm good at, connecting people for the purpose of education, which is my purpose. My passion is helping people grow beyond where they are now. So really take time and really look at what your gift is. How does that resonate into your purpose, and turn that, and that pretty much, here's the thing. If you would do it for free, that pretty much lets you know. So there's some indicators on you understanding what your purpose and passion is, and some of the things that you would do it wholeheartedly without anybody giving you any money for it, then that's something you have a passion for. So figuring out what that is and then turning that into your business. And if you want to make it a side hustle for right now, cool. And maybe it may develop to something more. But I think it's just very important that we have to start operating in our gift. Yeah. And not just out here getting the bag just to be getting the bag. Yeah. That's kind of where over the last couple months, like, my thought process has been going, because when people work in their gift and they're passionate about what they do, you can tell by the product that they provide, or the service they provide. You can tell that John is serious about his music and how passionate he is about it when you listen to it, when you go to a show, when he recognizes people in the audience, when, he show love. You see the result of his preparation. Yeah, and you see the result of all of that. So I think sometimes it's like we are in the get the bag culture, but at the end of the day, the more you function within what God really gave you, and you doing it for the right reason, the bag gonna come. That's it.
And once again, you listen to I'm Refocused Radio on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Shamaya Reed, your host, and talking to John Stevens and Miss B. Michele, Coach B. What y'all been talking about is what this show is all about. There's always a time in life where you have to refocus. Yeah. You have to reflect on what's really happening. And someone just told me, because I produce shows during the week at the station, and someone told me, a host, he said, you know what? You got to stop focusing on the problem and look at the bigger picture. This is our opportunity to fix problems. And a lot of times you can spend so much energy on focusing on the problem that you miss the opportunity to find a solution.
Right. And I just want to hit on something that John said, even about diversifying, and this goes into brand development. As you really focus and develop your brand as an artist, it lets you, the work that you didn't put in lets you kind of come outside your comfort zone into other areas. And being people will seek you for mentorship. You'll be able to walk in certain doors. You'll be able to be in certain places just because of the brand that you then built as an artist. And this is why brand development is important on a personal level, and that's for your business, because that brand carries you through into places that you probably didn't think that you'd be able to go, honestly. You're right. And so all the things that you've done in San Antonio has definitely propelled you into other situations. And that's pretty much how it works. You're able to go back to your home state, your home city, and do the things you do there. Put down some roots there. Go to other cities. So having, when you really take time to assess who you are and that personal brand, and you really, and it's consistent and it's out there, like, it will come to you. Opportunities will actually come to you, and you don't necessarily, although you should always be, seeking to be better, but certain opportunities will definitely come to you in that space. And that's why it's important for you really be in tune with who you are, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, because it's kind of like two brands. You have a personal brand, and then you have the brand of your business, but people gravitate to you first before they really get into their actual business of what you do, before you get into hiring you. Like, even though I think even before I obviously would come to Top Shelf, listen to, and then we have some of the members who go to church together. So I kind of knew, I had different relationships with each member of Top Shelf. Right. So it was a no-brainer for me when my clients looking for bands or needed artists. I'm going to where I have a relationship and who's treating me right. Yeah.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
It's about being there.
Yeah.
When you show up, right? It's like there's just for sports as an analogy, there can be some games that you win and there's gonna be some games that you lose. But those difficult times, they give you experience.
Yep.
And there's nothing more valuable than having experience and showing up during the difficult times. Yeah. Like right now, I'm gonna swing it to John real quick. As these times are like I said, there's nothing but question marks. Talk to that artist out there who may be frustrated and they're like, man, but they're looking at the problems, right? I don't have no resources. No one's booking right now. And they're just focusing on all the excuses of not trying to push themselves in this time. What would you say to that artist?
I would say, just do it. I mean, and I'm not trying to be super deep or nothing like that, but when you said something about, the gift and being still like that, is this is the perfect time for you to introspect. And quarantine, that's the word that's been flying around for the past couple weeks. While you have this time in isolation and in solitude, really look deep within yourself. I mean, because as an artist, and I can be a bit transparent, it's easy for me to get up in front of a whole bunch of people because I've been conditioned to do that. In church, when I started doing, gigs and secular music, it's how y'all doing? It's easy, because you're feeding off of energy. But when nobody else is around, you really have to look deep within yourself and say, hey, is this my strength? Is this really what I want to do? If so, how can I better myself? Yeah. And to everybody that is affected by these times, and I'm one of those people that's affected, this is the opportune time for you to really look deep within yourself and say, hey, this is where I struggle. This is my lack. And use this time to really build yourself.
There you go.
So that way, when this time is over, you'll come back on top. And don't get it twisted. There are a lot of people who are going through this time, but you want to be one of the people that is not going to let this time affect you.
There you go.
You want to be the one that says, I'm going to use every second, every minute, every follow, every like, every retweet, every repost. I'm going to use this moment to really solidify who I am. Even outside of the music, because a lot of what we're going through right now, people are panicking, people are losing their minds, and it's happening at such a rapid pace. Even if you are, solid in who you are, because it's around you, it could really affect you.
Right.
Sometimes you got to put that phone down. Sometimes you got to put that phone down and turn off the TV just for a moment, so you can focus on your part.
And what's so funny, like right before all of this really kind of hit, like international airways, I had disconnected my cable. I said, I don't want no cable. I really want to use this time to focus on my music and really get me together. Yeah. And so when all of this started happening, of course, I'm empathetic, I'm sympathetic, but I'm like, man, I kind of did this at the right time because I can really focus on John, what I want to do, what my dreams are, what my goals are, and really repurpose and reposition what I do. So that way, when all this is over, I have a clear, concise direction and an action plan.
So you're not out there getting all the toilet paper, right?
No. Not at all.
But you learned something, right?
So, and honestly, I think that's a good point. And what I would say, I think this is also a time where we talked about community as well. So even for artists out there, I would really use this time to connect with other artists who I feel like maybe in a similar, so you can just develop a support system. Yeah. So I think that's important too. So while you're working on yourself, also figure out what artists in your city, connect with, like let all the extra go. And really just start embracing and connecting with the artists that's in your city, maybe close by or whatever, and start really putting together good support systems, because when this is over,
Yeah.
You will need these people.
Yeah. And you will know who's ready too.
Yep. Right. And during this time, you may have built something very powerful during this moment, and you just waiting for it to blow over. Yep. To put it out there. So I will say, just to add on to what he said, for sure, for all the artists out there and even just entrepreneurs, it don't got to be 200 people. Get with, good 4 or 5 people that's in your same genre or, as an artist, and just start building some good, solid networks. I think this time also allowed us to see as people, because we always on the go. Mm-hmm. So this is another time for us to really start building meaningful relationships.
Yeah, invest good words of encouragement. Like, for example, you an artist and then you got another artist doing their thing. Maybe it's just say, hey, how you doing? And yo, I see you grinding. Keep going.
Well, yeah.
Because sometimes you can get caught up in, we're going to just talk about it. In social media, you can get caught up in the popularity contest.
Yep.
How many views did he get? How many views am I getting? Okay, I need to do this so I can get a little bit more. The rat race is always going to be there. And to what you both are saying, right now is really more about value.
Most definitely.
And you get back to the roots of foundation of what the principles are to be successful in life. Get back to the relationship of building value with people, because that's what people connect to.
Oh, yeah.
But that's just like right now, like a lot of people going through, and even from a music perspective, this is where we always lean to music.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Like, honestly, you turn on the radio, or back in the day.
Some people do.
Yeah.
You turn on the radio, and then, them songs just get to going. But now you turn on your iPad or whatever, you let your favorite artist, just ride, take you through whatever situation. Yeah, take you through where you're going. But that's what I'm saying. Music has always had a place in history and will continue to have a place in history. So to that artist out there, like you said, this is the time for you to write that song, put it together, and put it out there, because you never know how it may really help somebody, because we all we don't have nothing else to do now.
Yeah.
So in all honesty, all we can do is listen to our playlist or go on Facebook or Twitter, whatever these online platforms, and find some solace in that.
Yeah.
So this is the perfect time to put that song out there to let people know it's going to be all right.
Yeah.
Or to talk about whatever you may be going through.
And to connect on what you said, for me, it's imperative, and you use the word value, and I was going to bring that up as well. So, for instance, like B. Michele and I, outside of our history, because we've been kind of at this for a while, outside of that, John Philip B. Michele pair, I'm an artist. I know I don't do it all. Mm-hmm. She's a brand coach, branding specialist. This is the perfect time for us to come together and really use one another's strengths to help other people. Mm-hmm. And even with what we're doing, with I am Refocused Radio and right here on 9:30 a.m., what we do would never be heard had you not invited us on. So our strengths, our experiences, our value is now reaching another platform, and you're a part of that. And so in this time, I just really think those who really have a gift, those who really have a purpose, those who operate in their passion, I just really think this is time for us to keep building, don't stop. Because again, there's nothing going on. We're not at work. We're not at gigs. We don't have the busy hustle and bustle to really, take us away from what we know we should be doing.
Right.
And so again, like that value piece is very strong to me, because like you said, the fast, the rat race, the popularity, all the stuff that's going on social media, it's cool for a minute.
Yeah. It won't last.
Yeah, it won't last.
It's like a high.
It won't last.
It goes, it comes, but it ain't gonna stay.
Yeah. But I don't know what them Instagram models doing.
Oh, snap. Hey. She just.
Although, hey, I'm going to keep it 100 though. I have been trying to get my Instagram body back, because I done gained some weight. Like, I've been trying to get it back though.
Man,
I call it my Abu Dhabi body, because when I left Abu Dhabi, I was fired. I got back here to the land of the 99-cent menu, and it got a little thick on them. But I'm just saying.
We're talking after the show.
I don't know what them Instagram models doing, because ain't no clubs to walk through.
Because
ain't no Rich Homie Quan being.
Ain't none of that.
What I'm trying to talk about, I can't talk about right now. So.
I mean, I'm just saying.
We're going.
Okay, we talking about diversifying. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah.
Because if I was an Instagram model, boy, I'd be trying to figure it out. Because ain't no bag to get. So here's the thing about it. Then you got to really figure out, what are you really good at?
Yeah.
Other than looking
fly.
Fly.
That's a lot of people, though. I mean,
but they should have been thinking about that before we got here. So I'm only bringing that up.
Right.
John talking about shots fired. It ain't really shots fired. I'm using this as an example. What the Instagram models doing? Like right now, because there's no club to walk through.
They just doing selfies, man.
They just doing selfies. Because here's the thing. I think this is why that reset button. You might need to figure out what talents do you really have that will last a while.
Value.
What value are you really bringing at this point? Because I think this might be the end of Instagram models after this, because they have to come up with something else. but I'm just saying, real talk though, I think this is where you really go deep inside yourself. Because looks are only gonna get you so far.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm like I said, I didn't gain like 20 pounds.
It's okay. It's a podcast.
Okay, good. Sorry. You know what I'm saying? I was hurt, but before Instagram models came out, I was flying. Now I done gained 20 pounds. So good thing I got skills. Like I got degrees. I got stuff I can do. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Man,
but
that's
no.
a whole nother show.
I know it's a whole nother show.
It's funny though.
I'm trying to keep this PG, man.
I know. Okay, I'm gonna stop. I promise you I'm gonna stop. But I'm just saying to John's
I love this show, man.
I'm just saying, to John's point, is that you really do have to soul search and really figure out who you are and what your gift is, because it just can't be it just can't be outwardly.
Surface,
Like what? Because skills pay bills.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let me skills pay bills.
Yep.
Let me clear that up, though. So.
Well, yeah. You know, man.
Look, skills pay bills, so. A mechanic. If you're good at working on cars, at the end of the day, you have a profitable skill set. So I'm just all jokes aside, like real talk. You really do have to. What are you really good at that could possibly turn into a legitimate business? Even with coaching and consulting, are you really good with people? So this is that time to figure out what your real gift is, not to get the bad gift.
Not to get the bad gift.
Not to get the bad gift, but what you really, really good at, what you really want to do in life, honestly. So, we got a little humor, y'all.
Yeah, I'm holding back real
I know.
good, too.
This probably going to be the best.
I'm about to crack so many jokes.
This probably going to be the best episode yet.
Y'all got the right people on today.
I know. I'm going to put that on my page. So what my J.Moss doing?
I have to make a comment, though.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to keep it clean. But to your point, I'll just put some words of wisdom, because I'm going to be transparent right now. I'm going to say this. These times right now will expose your weaknesses.
Most definitely.
Yes.
And if you're not careful, you, like what y'all been talking about this whole show, you literally can miss your opportunity if you don't tighten up and get your foundation together.
Yep.
Because the foundation holds the house, right?
Oh, yeah.
Well, if you got some cracks in that foundation, you need to really pay attention.
Yeah.
Because if you ain't careful, when we do recover on the other side, are you going to be ready?
You're right. But here's the thing, because I'm to the point where now, look, this is a time for everybody really to step their game up.
Mm-hmm.
So we not don't be calling me talking about, can you borrow nothing, because our people is about to give us a check, I heard. So I'm just saying, do wisely.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
With that check you about to get.
Don't go out and just...
Like, so real talk, this is the time for you to really figure out how you could possibly use that.
Start business.
To start your business.
Yep. There you go.
To get your side hustle popping a little bit more. I don't know, but we got to start. Our mindset has to change, because them GoFundMe's and all of that. Get your life, pay your life insurance up. Yep. Let's talk about some grown folk stuff for a minute.
Yep. Yeah.
As an entrepreneur, for sure, and this is because this is the space I'm in, because this is where I stand firm on this. Every entrepreneur needs to have life insurance. That, like, you pay your rent, your life insurance bill is right up there with the rent that you should not miss. Honestly, because you are the brand, and it's about protecting that. So in that space, if you don't pay nothing else, pay your rent and your life insurance bill. Like, real talk, because if you're of the mindset as an entrepreneur, if you're really truly of the mindset of leaving a legacy and generational wealth, life insurance is the way to do that. So it's not necessarily all about the death benefit either.
Right.
With the right policy and having a right agent, there's parts of life insurance that you can take advantage of. There's benefits that you can use while you still breathing.
That's right.
And always talk to a professional too.
Right.
Don't
so
be
make it
just kind of, I'm a guess and just see what happens.
No, call us up. I got some really stellar agents on our team at the agency. So I partner with some really good agents. Like they're about people. Yeah. They're about making sure they put people in the right position, the right policies, and all the things that really work for your situation. Because life insurance is not a one-stop shop. It's not a cookie-cutter deal. It's based on you.
Right. Your life. That's right. In your life.
In your life.
Yeah.
Like, honestly. So let's be adults. So let's use this time to also think about being good stewards of our funds.
That's good.
And like we talked about last year, intentional.
And being intentional. So whatever additional income you're about to get, and if you get them checks from old boy now,
don't be blind.
Don't be like,
organized.
don't do it.
Yeah,
like really.
Priorities.
Set your family up because we cannot keep going. I really feel like you said, I think everything happens for a reason, and God gonna see us through this.
Oh yeah.
But you have to do your part to come out victorious on the other side.
Right.
And if you don't do your part to become victorious, I'm not gonna say you deserve to have anything happen to you, but I'm gonna say you gotta, like, we just gotta start thinking with a different mindset and a different process, because he gave you ample opportunity with this quarantine.
Yep.
Whatever you put in is where you get out.
That's right.
And whatever funds come your way, this is now your time to do better.
Yep.
There you go.
And I think it's up to us also to hit our cousins up, our aunties up in that inbox and be like, fam, let's do X, Y, and Z, or put something together for our family and be encouraging to our family members to do the right thing. Yeah. At least the ones where you got a good relationship with.
Yeah.
But I think that's very important for us to come out victorious on this other side.
We both on the same page.
This is another time to cut some people off.
Yeah.
It's got some dead weight. Cut that off, man.
It's time to cut people off, and then it's time to fix relationships.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like,
that's real.
I really believe, and you touched on a lot of good stuff.
Sorry, I got caught up.
I mean, that means like we kind of thinking along the same lines. This is the perfect time, again, and we talked about the music and the professionalism and all that stuff, but this is where it gets real good. Whatever issues you got with your friends, your family, and as creatives, and I'm being very, very real, as creatives and as entrepreneurs, it's easy for us to kind of somewhat get in our feelings. And it's not because we in a bad space, it's because we're passionate about what we do.
Yes.
We're protective and we're passionate about what we do. So somebody else come along and they're doing the same thing we doing, and we all are familiar with the term undercut. Yep. We're familiar with that. You know, I can do this for such and such. And like those types of things, those get in the way of really networking and really putting together something powerful to move the community. So use this time to write relationships. If you around people you know or are in situations that are not meaning you any good, cut it off.
Yeah, if it's toxic, it's no.
Yeah,
you are not obligated to maintain toxic relationships. I don't know who said that. And I think sometime in the Black community, we feel like, well, that's your mom or that's your daddy. I don't care. Like, at the end of the day, like, you're not obligated. Your peace is always more important.
Yeah. Your health and your peace. So you're not obligated to maintain toxic relationships, no matter, even if it is a parent.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, and it's hard. And I'm not saying it's easy, but I'm saying because I've been through it. Like, it was hard to do that cutoff, especially with a parent. And you become numb to certain situations. Yeah. But like at the end of the day, it's like I can't harbor that, knowing where I want to go.
Right. And that's the thing. Knowing where you want to go, having direction about what you know you should be doing. There's a lot of things that we allow around, I'm not going to say let, but we allow around us to keep us feeling good. Right. Whether it's status, people, situations that will afford you to be on top. It's just time out for all of that. And we didn't know that this quarantine and this COVID-19 was going to happen. We didn't know that 6 months ago.
Nope.
Right.
We didn't know that. We was just turning up for Christmas, Thanksgiving. Kobe died, and that was
2020.
Yeah, this 2020, and everybody was. I got my 2020 vision. I'm focused. I'm doing this, and then look, here we are.
And this is the test.
Yeah, exactly.
This is the ultimate test.
This is it
to see where you are in your life. And I'll put this out there because I know we're gonna wrap this up pretty soon. But I'm gonna put this out there because you touched on it earlier in the show. This is your greatest opportunity to go back to the source, and that's God.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
If you can take something from his podcast, all the good tips that you heard from John and Michele, put all that together, but also put God on top of that.
I'm going to say this in the spirit of collaboration. So this morning while I was going through the videos of all people, and it was a Fox News video, but Pastor Jamal Bryant was on Fox News, and he was talking about how churches typically are 20 years behind culture and technology. So their church was doing you could just drive through and get the food because they kept the social distancing. And some churches opted to do online. Some people said, come on to the house. I think this is also the time to where in that spirit of collaborations that we also look to churches and collaborate with our pastors and in the churches and whatever it is. So maybe we're not doing, going in-house, but maybe John get with whatever church, say, hey, let's do this, and we do it digitally. Yeah. So this concert or this whatever is brought to you by whoever, and y'all come, you watch it, online or whatever. But I think we also got to start, we have to start pulling up our churches as well and getting them into the fold. Because like you said, like at this point in 2020, there's no reason for not one church, and I mean, unless you're like small, to not be in this technology pool and not be able to, reach out. Because here's the other thing, I will say this, and I know this is not part of our conversation, but I think at the same time, this is a perfect time for churches to do what churches are supposed to do, and that's be about the community. But it take all of us. Yeah. So it don't matter if I come to your church, if I ever paid my tithes, it's people out here that's in need.
Yeah.
And so the church is supposed to be about the community, not the building itself. The church, the people are supposed to be about community. So this is also a time for to collaborate and really pull your church along and pull them into the fold as well, and helping understand that this is a us situation, because they're struggling too.
Oh, yeah.
Because everybody's not going to be able to pay their tithes online. Some people not going to even be able to pay their tithes.
Some people can't pay their bills right now.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like the church needed to be prepared as well. Just like we have to be prepared individually, and for our business, there's some preparation that hopefully, we all trying to withstand this whole situation. But I think it's also about us also just coming together and somebody going to their pastor, going to say, hey, let's do this. Or people from the community say, let's get this together. Get with the church. Let's do this online concert, however. So I think we also, let's not leave the church out of this per se, and helping people get through this whole thing and just putting out good vibes.
Yeah.
While
let them know that they're not by themselves.
Right. Let them know. Because I think at the change, this is an opportunity for the church to be transparent. Your pastor needs to be transparent about what's happening at this moment, how they're going and where they stand.
Yeah.
And how they're going to show through and show up for people no matter what. Yeah. So I just think in the spirit of collaboration, as we talk about this and God being who he is and getting us through this, but I think he also, like you said, this is also a time for everybody to get it together. Yeah. Like this is a time for everybody. So whatever you don't have happening at your church technology-wise, you got plenty of time to get it together for the next ride. Right. Because there's going to be another ride.
Yeah, and if I can chime in, and this funny that we're talking about this now, because where I serve at Macedonia with Dr. Jerry Daly, we had this same conversation last night. And a lot of churches, no matter your congregation size, this is how we have to do church now. Right. Like there's no cutting corners. There's no, let me sneak these. The risk is too great. And we have to do, and that doesn't negate or nullify the original concept of church. Right. Again, we are the people sitting here right now. We are the church. So as many ways and as many avenues that we can share the gospel, the good news, and hope and reach people. That's what it's about. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, in the church, in the community, like you said. There's several ways that we can still provide that message.
Yep. And I think that's where we just have to realize how can we, and honestly, it takes a village. If it's never taken a village before, take one right now. Right. And for us, everybody to kind of let aside whatever issues, because right now, this ain't the time to have beef.
Not at all.
With nobody.
Not at all.
You gotta mature and grow up.
Yeah, we gotta prevail through this process. And I think even each in our own space and bringing what we bring to the table and just help. Because I think it's just the right thing to do at the end of the day. And that's why I figured, I was like, why is it so hard to just do the right thing?
That's another show.
I know, right? That's another show.
I can talk
some good stuff.
Right, that's another show. But right now, we got a chance to really do the right thing and just be helpful.
Because you want to talk about no smiles. Yeah, that's another show.
We ain't gonna go there. We ain't gonna go there. But hey.
But you, the listener that's listening to this show, we're basically being transparent, like completely, and letting you know you're not alone. In these times, it may be difficult. It may be question marks everywhere you look. You may not know where you're going to be able to pay your bill. You may not, if you're laid off, you may not know when you're going to be working again. Yeah. But no matter what, like John was talking about, be still.
Yep.
Take this time to reflect on your life. Fix broken relationships.
Yeah.
This is a good time to start forgiving folk and just move forward. We're not saying you got to be best friends with people that are toxic, but if you can work on you, right? And like B was talking about earlier in the show, you can start building your value, be passionate about your gifts, be purpose-driven with your brand. And from here on out, you can build momentum.
Yeah.
If you can get anything out of this show, if you have an opportunity to start a business and be an entrepreneur in these difficult times, take that risk.
Yep.
But know who you are.
Yeah.
And first, know who you are. Find your passion. If you love certain things, realize where you are in your life and trust God for the rest.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you both say some last things before we leave.
Honestly, I think you really summed it up. Honestly, I think this is just the perfect time for you to self-reflect, be mindful of the situation, but also use this time to prepare.
Yeah.
Like I said, just to come out victorious once this is over. But do the prep work, because I do feel like this ride is coming around again. Mm-hmm. And we don't want to be in the same position when it come around again. God knows I don't. So I think just hit the reset button.
Like you said, level up.
Yeah, level up. Take this moment to gather your thoughts and figure out what you can do to prepare, and whether, that's making sure you're insured. You got business insurance as entrepreneurs. So I'm just going to throw this out there too really quick. I know we got to wrap up. A lot of our events got canceled. South by Southwest got canceled. The rodeo in Houston, all of these things. As an entrepreneur, if you are a part of that, you bought flights, you were going to be a vendor, a speaker, any part of these events, like you should have had business insurance, specifically event insurance. Yeah. Because once they canceled, you could have put in a claim to your insurance, because that was a business-related expense.
There you go. Yeah.
And you would have got the money back, or at least or whatever was in your policy.
Yeah.
But without anything, you're definitely out. Yeah. So moving forward, those are those prep things that we're talking about. Your life, your business, protect it. Like, invest in yourself, in your gift, in your value, because if you don't, it's almost like you just leaving it out there for a wrecking ball to come through.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, and I feel for all the people that was a part of all these events that got canceled. And hopefully some of them did have business insurance. But one of the things, like, when you do get it, make sure that you have specifically speaks to, when, you get, if something like this happens, you're covered. So make sure your coverage protects you in another situation like this. So that's why I just think this is a time just to reset, protect the brand, get your life, whatever that means. You can be more than an IG model. Yeah. And I'm out.
I love it, man. And John, what you guys say, man, before you
for me, and we pretty much touched on everything. But one thing I will say in closing, for those of you that follow me on Facebook, plug.
Do that.
Plug. There's something that I have as my, I think it's the header picture or cover picture. It's something that I've carried with me like for the past couple of years, and it says: pray, prepare, give thanks, repeat. Even in this time, start your day off with prayer, and it ain't got to be no long drawn out prayer. Just be thankful for what you have. Be thankful that you're not in the situation that you should be in or could be in. Yeah. Prepare everything that Michele just said. Be on top of your game. Stay ahead of the curve. Do what you need to do to make sure you come out on top of this successful. Give thanks. Yes. Be thankful that, I have a crew around. And if you don't have a crew, be thankful that God is sending people my way.
There you go.
God will help me get to where I need to get to. And after all that's done, repeat. Yep. Repeat. Start the cycle all over again. God, I thank you for what you're doing in me. God, I thank you for bringing people around me. Prepare. Get that website done. Connect with somebody like a B. Michele or other professionals if you're listening to other cities. Get with somebody that can sharpen you.
Yep, in your local community.
Yeah, man. Get with somebody in your community that can sharpen you, that can push you to be the best you can be. Give thanks. Repeat. Do it all over again.
And I'll just echo that real quick because this show is epic. I'm sorry. I'm just got to let it all out. But you touched on something, and I really think both y'all mentioned it. We need to have buddy systems, man. Yeah. Find you a buddy, someone who is maybe in a similar career or someone that can help you do better, like marketing, music, and like you're saying in the show, collab. And before I just go all crazy and talk for another 30 minutes, give your website. I'll have you give a website, starting with John.
Follow me on Facebook, PhilFree Music Co., Instagram, Twitter, SoundCloud, LinkedIn, PhilFree Music.
Everything Coach B. Michele.
You know why I do that? Because this conversation is so rich and so good that we can talk for another hour. But
I know, right? This was a good one, though. I'm glad that we did it together, though. I think it was
good.
I wouldn't say this is timely. This was important. This message. If you take one thing, share this with someone.
Yeah. Yep.
Because if there's anybody out there who's depressed, anybody out there who just feel like they're not going to make it through these difficult times, share this with someone who might need a pickup, some encouragement, and follow them. They gave their information. It'll be in the description. Make sure you follow them and do it yourself. Like John was saying earlier, get up, take that action. Because faith without works is what?
Dead.
So in these hard times, just like we always say on every single show, keep God first, stay focused, and peace.